For the record, we did not kick Penn Jillette out. He had to go. He had to go and do other press for Tim's Vermeer.
Yeah.
Which looks like a fascinating movie.
Very cool.
Absolutely. And Louis C.K. surprised us today. This is awesome.
Hello, fella.
I was just talking about you the other day because I'm a huge fan of comedians in cars getting coffee.
Oh, yeah. That's
and your
good.
episode was really, really good.
Oh, thanks.
And how you described getting high and going to the movies was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I want to smoke pot now because of that.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Because it's been many years.
Yeah,
since...
no, I've got it down to this exact science.
Yeah.
The theater I go to, there's an elevator that takes you straight to the IMAX. You don't have to go through the whole theater.
Ooh.
And I have the whole thing down to an exact, this is how I do this.
Yeah.
I haven't done it for a little while.
You know
Last thing I saw
exactly
was
when
Gravity.
to time it.
Gravity was fucked
smoking.
up.
Gravity...
That didn't freak you out a little bit?
Well, 3D IMAX high. Like, you know how they have those logos? It should say, like, 3D IMAX high is the best way to see a movie like Gravity.
Yeah.
I didn't otherwise... I didn't like the performances.
Right.
And I didn't know why these are the people...
That were in the
who
movie?
are being called the astronauts.
Right.
Yeah.
It's two people, and you could have gotten anybody.
They should have just had
It wouldn't
two.
have been these two, terrific, made great contributions to theater of the screen.
Yes, of course.
But why fill their faces with chemicals to make sure they look like astronauts? I mean, you could get, there's so many people.
Right.
And also the idea that she's like a reluctant astronaut. There's no such thing as like someone's like, oh, I mean, the other thing didn't work out, so I'm an astronaut.
Yeah.
And
so
I hate
astronaut
space.
was something to fall back on.
Yeah, I'm so stressed out when I'm in space.
Like a trade.
Yes. This is what would happen if you're like, she's some scientist. Mm-hmm. You go to NASA if you got a interview.
Yeah.
Okay, you be her, okay?
All right.
And I'm going to ask you about how you feel about the program and sound a little hesitant.
Okay.
Okay, so how are you excited to try out to be an astronaut? Get the fuck out of here now. Get the fuck out of my office. There's the greatest people alive do this.
Right.
Everybody wants that gig.
And it's their dream from the second they left the womb.
Right.
All they want to do is go into
They
space.
never gave up on being an astronaut.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're obsessed with being an astronaut and you are the best at everything that you do, you're still going to wash out and not get to space.
Right. Yeah.
And yet this fucking like, ugh. And I get vertigo. No, you don't. Fuck you. And I don't know, whatever. And then, but when you're that fucking stoned, and you're in the picture and you're going inside of the helmet, looking at the world from inside the helmet, it's pretty cool.
Not a freak out though. You're not a freak out pot guy where it's like, this is like fucking freaking me out.
No, because they don't know I'm watching them, so they're not interacting with me. If I interact with human beings who are looking at me,
that'll freak out a little bit.
That would be the thing.
Yeah.
The vastness of space thing would get me a little.
No, I could fall right into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for I was getting also irritated by the lack of truth with the physics. Because they had an opportunity to teach people physics.
Right. Where did they fail?
Were they really off? There was a couple of times where they said they were off, like when they were holding each other's fingers. They said all she would have had to do in real life was just pull back gently and he would have come right back.
That's right. There's the whole, basically, the entire crux of the drama of the movie was a giant fuck you to physics.
Physics.
The idea that she's holding him and there's some force pulling him more and more, like an increasing force from what? There's nothing.
Centrifugal force, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Were they spinning?
Nope.
No, they weren't.
They weren't spinning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, although if she pulled like
a teeny bit, he would have come right back.
But
and also, when
she would have gone forward too.
When she's spinning, and she's going,
yeah.
oh God, close your fucking eyes, close them. You're not feeling it. You're not feeling yourself spin.
Right.
Close your eyes.
Yeah,
that's all
because
you would
the
have to
Earth
do.
is doing this.
It's all relative.
Close your eyes,
like the Earth. So
60 seconds.
Yeah,
she wouldn't even have to be reminded. But even, honey, close your eyes. All right. Okay, good. I'm good.
Everything's fine now.
Good.
That's a good point. But I wouldn't have thought of that if I was spinning away into nothingness either. She probably just forgot.
She forgot.
Yeah, no, she's clumsy and forgetful.
Hesitant.
She's like Lucy.
When George asked her where she's from, like when they know all that, that took me out of the movie. I'm like, they would know all that before they went up there, right? But so tell me about you. Where are you
they
from?
Would know everything about
every
each
detail.
other.
What did they talk about during the training? He just kept saying your cunt stinks a lot. That's all he talked about in the training is how her
That
cunt
was the first 1,000 things he said. 1,001 was where you from.
Yeah,
where
do you have any kids ever fall out of that dump?
Yeah, and guess what? If you have like a background that's edgy, like your son died, then they want, we're not putting you in space.
Right.
That's going to come up.
That could be a problem.
Yeah,
It's gonna come
we're going to bum everybody out with that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need you up there all of a sudden waxing fantastic about your kid.
No.
Worthless. Fucking things up.
No,
well,
billions of dollars that shit costs up there.
They
need boring, steel, fucking nerved people.
Right. You ever watch some of those guys on camera when they're having the spacewalk? Like they got to replace that giant cooling unit that's the size of a refrigerator. Their dialogue back and forth is just the most
mundane,
technical, dull, fucking, the bolt is out.
Right.
Well, like if you ever listen to black box recordings to fall asleep at night. Have you ever jack off to black box recordings?
Yes. Yeah, voice recording.
Yes, they have some on YouTube and
I've
stuff.
seen. I've actually was listening to some of those just last week.
Yeah.
I swear. They're fucking
they are
tragic.
the
Challenges
pilots,
are going, right.
even in the worst conditions, are steel until the very last second.
Yeah, then you got
They're
the
like,
old,
okay, we're going to try this. We're going to try this. This didn't work. This didn't work. The wing came off. We're going down. We're 50 yards from the ground. It's the last sound. It's like,
it is the last.
But they're not
right
panicking.
before it, they're like, we'll try this. We'll try this.
Yeah.
That's what all pilots are like. And people in space are like the 0.00001% best of those people.
Right.
That's
Crazy.
That's exactly what it was.
That guy Sully, who landed the plane on the Hudson, steel nerves, he would have washed out. He would have never made it.
Never would have made it to space. No. Something fucked up there. He would have been fucked. But meanwhile, in the plane, we're not going to make it. We're in the river.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to try the river.
We're going to try the river.
We're going to try the river.
That's literally what he said.
Right.
Well,
I like your boat. They show the boat in the...
That's nice vessel.
That's my summer. That's where I spend my summer.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And where do you go with that?
I go up the Hudson River.
Oh, okay.
And then I go out the Long Island Sound.
Oh, right. Was that Hell's Gate?
You can go out in the ocean, but the ocean's trickier. I'm going up. My experience.
The river seems like
good at.
Yeah.
The river's nothing.
But it seems like it's cool to explore and stuff, too.
It is a bit. It gets a little mundane up there.
It does.
But there's some great places that you can easily anchor and swim when you get up past the Tappan Zee. And there's a few towns that you can, pull up to a dock and get ice cream, and my kids love it. And then the Long Island Sound, though, I went to Martha's Vineyard last summer and back.
With the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the entire Sound, yeah.
Yeah, that's you go out.
How long does that take from where you're docked?
You can do it pretty fast, or you can go. I mean, I went out there in about 4 days with the kids, and you stop in a bunch of places. And, the boat's you can eat on it, and cook on it. So I just last summer I lived on the boat for about a month. Like I didn't.
Jesus Christ,
I slept on it every night for a month, up the river, out the Sound. I just stayed out of the city.
You just stayed on it for a month straight?
Yeah, 2 weeks with my kids, 2 weeks without my kids.
That's awesome.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, part of it by myself.
Oh.
Did you see Redford's movie where he's on the little sailboat?
Yeah, I hated it.
Thank you. I did too.
It was a piece of shit movie.
What a fucking, I kind of got, at the very beginning, with those shipping container and everything, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little...
but you know he dies.
Well, yeah.
You know that it's worthless.
Right. Yeah, because they kind of popped that at the beginning.
Because the movie starts with none of this worked. I tried everything, none of it worked. And then, so here's the first thing didn't work, which was bailing out and, fixing the hole.
Right.
He's also a fucking asshole. I was screaming at the screen the whole movie because he tries the radio for like a minute.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I would be on that, especially if you started getting a little something.
Yeah, and also you don't just hail your fucking, this is my ship's name. Nobody gives this
No one cares. Say, hey,
Mayday.
Right, you're right.
If you say, I'd be falling asleep with my hand on that switch saying Mayday.
You lost your voice.
Because if somebody hears Mayday slightly, they know what
there's a problem.
Yes, because these radios, the VHF radios, have a limited radius. So if somebody hears Mayday, they know within 5 miles of me, somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
And there'd be helicopters swarming. Yes. And also, like, a ship comes, he's reading the directions on his fucking flare.
On his flare.
And then he pops one, and the ship is still like 90 feet away, and he's like, yeah, I don't think they see me. I'm just going to go ahead and die. And then the one thing he does that is the stupidest, but like when he makes the fire in the little tub.
In the little tub.
I go, okay, he's doing this because he's going to float the tub out into the water.
Why wouldn't you put it in the water?
Why are you making a fire in your rubber raft, you stupid fucking idiot?
That was him giving up.
If you're going to make a fire in your raft and set the whole thing into a ring of blaze.
Yeah.
There's a ship right there. Give it 10 minutes to see if the ship comes.
Don't just fucking
before you
sink
go,
beneath.
I'm going to go into water now.
He really did just give up.
Yeah.
Too many times. And well, the guy that made the movie, what was his name?
Robert Redford?
No. He was like, oh, well, the ending is left open to interpretation.
Oh, is it?
Did he die or did he not die?
Was that the hand of the filmmaker's best friend? I don't give a shit who it was.
Stupid Hollywood. Stupid Hollywood trying to give you a little extra.
Hope? Yeah?
That's dumb.
You say he's dead, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I hope so. I really hope that character's dead.
He wasn't even being careful.
I have on my boat, like that guy's some kind of a gillionaire. I have on my boat this plastic, looks like a Fisher-Price thing.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes on my boat, I tell them, if we're sinking, grab this and press this one big red button.
And there's the beacon.
And don't let go. If you press that button, fucking people will come and find the button. And it's water sealed. It doesn't, it's an impervious to anything.
Yeah, why didn't he have that?
Costs because he can't afford it. It's like a subscription of about $20 a year. Yeah. And the unit itself is about $118.
You got a sat phone?
Yeah. What?
You got a sat phone?
I don't have one yet because I haven't been out in the open water like that. have only been in places where
you could get
I've lost, like between Block Island and Martha's Vineyard is the longest expanse that I've done.
Yeah.
And you lose sight of land for a few minutes, like you're out in the open. And the ocean is hitting you broadside. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I've always gone out a little further than I'm comfortable with, a little at a time.
Yeah.
I go out and then I freak myself out a little and then I come back. But now I can get to Martha's Vineyard on my own, so I know how to do that.
That sounds awesome.
Reading charts, are you?
Yeah.
Reading charts.
Reading some charts.
I always keep that. I mean, I have a GPS.
Yeah.
And it has a chart system in it. Mm-hmm. But the boat was built in 2004, so the navigation equipment, 2004 technology. Now,
that's crazy different.
Shit.
That's old, right?
So my iPad gets me everywhere I'm going.
Fucking iPad.
iPad has a thing called iNav X. It's just an app.
Yeah.
It has the entire American coastal water.
Isn't that amazing?
And I can jump on the boat with my iPad.
Yeah.
I keep two on board for redundancy. I keep one plastic wrapped in a place where a fucking shipping container can't destroy all my... Let me keep everything right next to the gunwale, like right next to... and no waterproofing anything.
So if anything hits it, it's sure to drench it with water.
Yeah. It's like keeping a coffee cup on your fucking laptop.
Eventually it's going to tip over.
But my iPad can get me anywhere I want to go.
Isn't that amazing? Because it's not very long ago you needed that stupid fucking star thing and charts.
Yes.
And
I keep the paper charts and I use the Ritchie compass, which is a basic compass.
Yeah.
So I keep referring to those because I do think at some point
if all the shit shut down
on me.
Right.
I can do it. I could get myself home from anywhere.
Yeah.
Using the markers that are in the water and a compass and a chart.
Mm-hmm. Can't they get like a fucking satellite thing of that so you'll never lose reception? Isn't like a satellite instead of satellite
but you
phone?
can lose power.
GPS,
There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. And also in some weather, GPS starts to fail.
Yeah.
So you always keep the paper charts and you keep, because it's not just about where you're going. Like there is a part of when you come out of New York Harbor, when you go out the Long Island Sound, after the Whitestone Bridge, No, the Throg's next. That's the last one.
Yeah.
Then you're in the Long Island Sound, and there's this huge expanse of water. You go out to City Island and out to the Sound. I didn't read the chart right the first time I did it, and I went flying through this big, and there's no other boats except for little fishing boats, and all the guys are looking at me, like kind of shaking their heads.
What is he doing here?
I've got this big fucking boat with a 5-foot draft.
You don't belong there.
No, and then I look through it because you can't tell from the surface. Underwater, there's rocks that are like within an inch of the surface.
Holy shit!
And there's just
should have put a 13-year-old blonde boy on the front and let him navigate for you, and then hit a rock, and you could have molested him when the fucking Catherine Hepburn came with a sandwich.
Exactly. But I know I was just very lucky that I flew through there without destroying. I easily could have destroyed the boat.
Jesus.
It gets scary sometimes in a little bit of weather when the boat slams down. You get that bam,
it's
bam,
brutal.
bam, and it's like really loud, and you're thinking this thing's gonna break.
Yes,
it's gonna break.
No, I've had a few times on the boat where I've thought I'm gonna go home and I'm never doing this again. Wherever I dock this thing, I'm going to put a sign on it for sale, and I'm going to take the train home.
You got a little scared a couple of times?
Sure, very scared.
Yeah.
The first time I went to Block Island, I scared the shit out of myself.
Really? Was the weather nice, or was it just too big?
The waves were enormous for me.
Oh, right.
I thought they were like 4 or 5 foot waves was probably like 2 feet.
But it's rolling, a lot of rolling.
And you're slapping up and down. You don't feel like you're moving. And
right.
Block Island is like this little sliver of brown, and it looks so far away.
That.
But this is why sailors drink, because then you get there and you're in this calm. You go into the protected cove, and it's calm, and you throw an anchor, and you're okay now. And you just want relief. Like a whole bottle of whiskey.
A whole bottle of rum.
Bottle of whiskey.
Yo ho ho. And then were you dreading the ride back? Were you like, oh fuck, I gotta leave this safety?
I'm getting ready to go. I realize I'm starting to breathe heavy. And
a little anxiety.
This is gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
But I've done that so many times. Like, there's a place called Plum Gut where you go from Long Island Sound into the ocean, and those two bodies of water meet in this bizarre end of the world looking roiling.
Wow!
It's two different currents, and they meet like in a line.
And you got to cross over,
and you have to cross over that line, and there's a little thin, a narrow little channel with rocks on one side and all these hazards.
Just danger.
And your propellers can't really find the footing because there's all this spinning. Currents. So you just kind of have to hope through it. And the first time I did it, it scared the living shit out of me. And I was alone, just yelling loudly out loud in my boat. But now I know Plum Gut. I just know it.
Yeah. You become accustomed.
Now it's easy for you.
Cape Horn.
Yeah.
For you, it's
you want to take a nice spin around there, fucking by Somalia. What does a chart have on it? Like, how do you if it's cloudy? How do you look at a chart and make any sense out of it? It's just water.
With the clouds, but the clouds don't. You're looking at the water. You're not looking.
I'm saying, like, what does that tell you though? I'm saying the stars.
To navigate
the charts
by the
are not
stars.
stars. The charts are what the chart shows you, because the water's all different depths. You can be out in open water and it's only 1 foot deep and you can't boat there. So there's all kinds of contours to the bottom of what you're looking at on the chart. Really is what is under the surface.
What it looks like without water.
Right, but how do you know that when you're on the boat? How do you know what looks like under you?
Because first you have to. You use landmarks and certain references, although you can't tell distances on the water. Everything looks different. But you use a compass, and there's marker buoys. Usually, sometimes they have gaps where you're just kind of fucked, and you there are places where you're like, you have binoculars, and you're trying to see a little green light. There's green and red buoys that mark the shipping channels of all the water anywhere.
You have
all over the world.
GPS navigation where it shows like where you're headed. It shows your little icon, and so you can navigate like that through some of the tighter things that aren't marked.
Yes, but then there's all these tricky things like the compass on the navigation doesn't show true north. It shows magnetic north. There's all this kind of shit. So you have to actually look and find. And sometimes binoculars, you're trying to look through them, and your boat's slamming. Down.
Binoculars are real. Now you're also magnifying the motion.
And you're getting seasick.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you just go, I'm just going to go in this direction on the compass until something new gets revealed.
Wow.
Until I learned something.
I want to take this phone call. This guy has a hell of a story. Dan in Maine, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I
Good.
just had a story to add, given the location and the topic you guys are on today. Bringing a wooden fishing boat, about 80 feet long, back from Newport News, Virginia, up the coast. Was running a heading of about 69 degrees, and we got run over by a tanker 24 miles off Long Island. The tanker was coming down the coast, coming south, and as it turned out, it was on autopilot. There was nobody up on the bridge of the ship, and they didn't see us, and we had no communication with them, so we just held our heading. They cut the stern of our boat off clean and kept on going.
Jeez. Holy shit. Yeah. Run over by an oil tanker.
It was about 4 in the morning. And,
did you set your boat on fire and just sink beneath the waves and give up?
Good thing you didn't get out of its way. You just sat there and played chicken and lost. Terrible sailor you are.
Why didn't you have time to get out of the way?
Yeah.
I don't know how that
fucking
works.
Christen it with a champagne bottle, you idiot.
He's on a sailboat. I mean, he's supposed to have the right of way if you're under a sail.
Right.
That's good. That's what your fucking goody two-shoe rules get you. Hey, I'll tell someone. Fucking sternless.
That wasn't by Hoyle. That was a right rotten thing to do.
So what'd you do?
No, when
He's already told us twice underneath our talk.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. And 500 times apart. By the time I lost my stern, yes, cocksucker, I'm your wife.
What happened, sir? Fast.
The boat sunk in about 5 minutes, and we got everybody off the boat. I'm going over a lot of the details.
And sharks come cruising.
Yeah, exactly, but it's a
Jap sub slammed 2 torpedoes into its side, Chief.
Not one came out.
Yes. I'll
The
never
year 1945.
Yes. I'll never call the Opie and Anthony show again, Chief. So how many people were on this boat? Obviously, they considered this vessel coming a blessing.
There was 4 of us.
Oh, okay.
And you're all in the water, then what happened?
We were in the water for a little bit. One of the guys didn't want to jump off. He didn't know how to swim. Finally went over, got him. The boat sunk, disappeared. There was a boat coming up the coast about an hour later. We had 1 flare left. We were all bobbing in the water. We didn't have a good life raft. We were just kind of a half-inflated old rubber raft.
Not prepared.
Fuck, yeah.
Wait. How many miles off the coast?
We were exactly 24 miles off Long Island.
Oh, you should have swum.
Where were you?
Swimmed.
You were in the ocean?
Correct.
Oh, man.
I would have lost my
24 miles out.
mind.
24 miles out, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Those guys.
Yeah, we just the reason we held that course is because you don't think you figure it's going to be a port-to-port passing. This guy's going his direction. He turned at the last minute. When you can't communicate with him, you're not exactly sure what he's doing. So
it's really when you see the big boats. They grow unbelievably fast. It's unbelievable because you can't judge size. I mean, you really on a boat like his, a wooden sailboat. You probably didn't have radar. If you have radar, which is hard to read anyway, you can tell. Like something looks like it's right there, and you look on radar, it's actually like 3 miles away. You can't tell, but all of a sudden, before you know it, this fucking thing is right on top of me.
Yeah. Wow. You have a tough time listening, sir.
Yeah. Hope your friend Herbie Robinson from Cleveland's okay. The baseball player.
No, I don't think he's okay.
Yes.
Bobbed up like a top.
Yeah.
Upended.
He's been bitten in half.
It's been bitten in half.
So when did the big old PBY come down and save you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about an hour. We were in the water about an hour. The water was about 40 degrees.
That's not too bad.
So we had 3 flares. Only one of them worked. He came over and pulled us out of the water.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
What shitty safety equipment this guy had.
Exactly. Couldn't even tie a sheep shank.
No, we just walked the boat down and
didn't say how you wanted it.
Back.
There's
an old boat we're bringing
back. It's been a while since I had to pass basic seamanship. It's been a while since I had to pass basic seamanship.
I hope you sang Lady of Spain as they were loading up that
take this abuse much longer.
All right, Dan. We heard some of your story.
We heard most of your amazing story.
Exactly.
Of survival.
Yes. You were with some people in the water, and the fucking Valdez came by, and everybody fucking died.
This guy wants you to subscribe to Sirius for the weather. It saved him many times on the open ocean.
Yeah, well,
that's when the signal works.
All right.
So long.
All right, Dan. Bye.
All right. Good luck.
Keep
your business on the men.
But 24 miles out.
Yeah.
24 miles out going in the water. That would fucking scare the shit out of me.
Then he sees receipts around the house. His wife paid somebody to fucking steer that ship into him. Hon, did you hire an oil tanker? It's a long story. Fucking bore.
Fucking oil tanker.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Man.
They are very big, and there's nobody on them looking around.
No one's looking. Yeah, when you see those big cargo ships, it's not like someone's like, I'm going to hang out on the rail like a cruise ship.
Yeah.
There's fucking a conga line to fucking.
He also was too close to the shipping channel. There's channels. There's roads.
Yeah.
It's like standing in the middle of the highway.
Yeah.
It's like a guy standing in the middle of the highway and going, I don't know what happened.
I can't believe I got hit by a car. Right. And again, that stupid fucking Robert Redford movie.
Yes.
He was very close to the shipping lane.
Yes, he was trying to get himself in the shipping lane.
Yeah.
He had a shot at 3 ships.
Yes.
And he didn't even try to hail one.
It was half-assed.
Gave no fucking attempt.
Just,
sounds annoying.
God,
bothersome.
And there's no talking. He yells fuck once. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Doesn't have an air horn. Doesn't have...
Yeah. Something, right.
Fuck you.
Right. Fuck you. This dumb safety equipment. He bangs his head. He's not even careful.
Ow.
What else has been up, Louie?
Yeah.
How's Seinfeld to hang out with when he's not filming?
He's a good
I'm
guy.
fascinated by that guy.
He's a good guy.
He seems like a good guy.
Everyone
More than
is.
I've heard stories over the years, but when I'm watching this thing, it seems like he's all right. He has a little edge to him.
He loves comedy, and he's got kids, and he loves comedy. He's a very simple guy.
Right.
You know?
Did you brag about your TV show? Say, I got a good
to the
TV.
guy who's got $600 million in an ashtray at home.
20 years later, it's still like the #1 syndicated show.
Never will be eclipsed.
It's on 5 times a day.
Yeah,
Still?
I could work my entire life. I would still never even do a tenth of
Yeah,
what
well,
he
let's see him build something from the ground up. Let's see him do that. $600 million. You hire a guy like me.
Regular Joe.
And he just wants to get coffee.
That's all he wants.
That's
all he
it.
wants.
He don't care.
It's amazing you can do that. To be able to just like, I'm going to grab one of my Porsches and just fucking...
On one of the
have some
episodes,
coffee.
he talks about his agent and how his agent's frustrated by him.
I'm
He's
sure.
like, you're doing a web series, you know what you could be doing? And Jerry's like, this is what I want to do.
Did it already.
Yeah, I did that.
How do you fucking... Yeah, he
don't
can't
give a
even
fuck.
do another TV show like on television. Once you did that, you know...
Yeah, that's why go down that road again.
Yeah.
You've already been so far down that road.
Yeah. It's like
Try
Buzz
something
Aldrin
else.
getting on a plane and going to L.A. and going, hey, look what I did.
He talks about how...
Stepping off.
He also talks about how bored he was doing it by the end of it because it was so easy to do.
Yeah.
Creatively, he was out of his mind
You go to the
bored.
studio every day, and sitcoms in L.A. especially, that's a very sort of cut from a cloth life, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know you're doing the same exact life that Dick Van Dyke did and everybody else. I think it gets to feel like
you
see your own death pretty fast.
Start thinking about it, right.
Good point.
What am I doing?
I had a sitcom for, it's part of a year.
Yeah.
And I could see where it would be like, you could get old doing this. You could feel really rusty.
Yeah.
And then get cut off.
Yeah.
And you see somebody who's out in the world, and you're like, hey, what's going on out there?
That's great. I'm taking a sailboat around the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a lot of safety equipment.
Yeah. Exactly. Hopefully the fucking Life of Pi will call back. It's a great story.
That clip of you describing the joke, the fishing, ice fishing joke.
Oh, yeah.
Finally hearing the end of the joke was...
Yeah, he took a shit on the ice. He took a shit on the ice.
I thought it was going to be a little more profound than that. I think a lot of people did.
It never really added up. I mean, and I told... There is a scene towards the end of the movie where they call... I don't know if you saw the movie.
Saw it.
When they call Christian Bale in, and he says, I don't know where the money is, and they're playing this kind of game. And I'm in the room. I've got like one line where I go, just go home.
Right.
To Bradley Cooper. There was a version that we shot for a whole day of me standing up and making this big and finishing the ice fishing
Finishing the
story,
joke.
saying fuck
the
you
story,
to Christian Bale, and taking Bradley Cooper under my arm and saying, come on, I'll take you home. Like it was this big brave thing that I did. So for a whole day he kept throwing alternate and different versions at me, and I had to do. And I'm like, and I wasn't up to it.
Yeah,
I'm not that good, and I'm not that important in the movie. So he tried to get. I was trying it, and I'm looking at Christian Bale, and these people are looking at me, and it's getting sweaty, like you can smell everybody in the room. Like it got really. It was long into the night, and I kept trying this version, and it's not in the movie. Yeah. But that's where the ice fishing story was supposed to be ended there.
I thought that he had actually guessed it, and you were so annoyed at him, you wouldn't give him credit for it. Like, that's how it came off to me, like he got it, and then you were like, no! Like, you were just fucking annoyed that he got it.
The whole bit was that I kept moving the goalpost of the thing. Like, it's about your brother. No, it's not about that. I mean, that was the bit we decided when we started doing it, was that I'd keep changing what it was about. He could never figure it out. But then, the end, I was there for a ADR for, when you do recording of your voice for fixing stuff. And they had found that scene that I think was out of the movie for a while, me in the hallway with him. And he says, brother died. And I go, my brother died a different way.
Right.
And he decided that's how to end it. Just let that be the end of it.
Just let it sit there.
Congratulations, American Hustle.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That was a good one.
That's a really good movie, too.
And what's his name? Doing just that little impression of you on the couch is fucking... He
I didn't see that until I saw the movie. I had no idea.
It's so funny, man.
In the room, so
he's just... really... I was fucking laughing my ass off at that one.
That was fun.
Goddamn. What other, what are you working on?
I got this movie that I'm putting on my website tomorrow.
Yes.
So starting at noon, you can buy it. It's called Tomorrow Night. And it's a feature-length movie I made. It went to Sundance and a bunch of festivals when I was 28.
Yeah. Jesus. Do you look at it now and think like, oh my God,
I was shocked
what was I thinking?
Yes,
or
that's exactly what.
Really?
Yes. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a weird movie. It's got a little heart to it, and it's funny because, like, J.B. Smoove, it's the first thing he ever did because he was just starting as a stand-up, and I was about to start making the movie, and I saw him at the comic strip, and I went home and wrote a part for him because he was so funny. So J.B. is great in it, and Steve Carell's funny in it, and Rick Shapiro has a big part in it.
What year is
too.
it? Damn, and
Rick Shapiro's in drag in the movie. He plays an old lady.
Jesus.
Wow, man.
98.
Okay.
98.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's been under my bed all this time. Conan's in it for a minute. Like, he's in it as himself.
Wow.
It's a weird movie, cool. But it is like, there's an old lady in it, like one of the main characters is an old lady, and people keep saying to her, you're very, very old. And I'm like, why did I do it's kind of mean. Like, it's mean.
It's mean.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't make that movie now, but it's a product of my 20s.
It's kind of cool.
It's fun.
We'll check it out.
Yeah. Are there any technical things in it that you look at and go, oh, I would definitely do that different?
Well, we shot it in black and white film and on reversal film, which is tricky to expose. So there's a few scenes that are very blown out.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But I like the way we photographed. All the people that I worked with are now on my show. I mean, the crew that I assembled to do that movie, I do my show with all the same people.
Wow, is that out of
same DP? No, because they
loyalty,
were
or is it just they were?
I wouldn't hang on to anybody.
Get out of here.
That's good for a year. That's good.
I'm loyal for a year. That's what you get.
But no, I've been with Amy Silver, is the production designer of my show, and Paul Kessner, the director of photography. We all started on that movie.
When's the next season start? In the summer?
May.
Oh wow, we're almost there.
Wow, I remember when you were like, I'm taking some time off.
A year off.
And that time off is done.
It's gone.
It's pretty much done.
It sounds like he took advantage of it, though.
I
Living
did.
on a boat.
A great summer.
Yeah.
But now I'm back at work. We made a hurricane for the show. We created a whole hurricane. It's
really?
It's the hardest thing I ever shot.
Can you explain?
It looks real.
You're in
well, he kind of recreated what happened with
and
Sandy, but it's more exaggerated. It's kind of crazy what happens.
Oh, okay.
Could you explain how you created a hurricane?
Well, you use it all comes down to what exactly you're going to see in every shot. So it's the only time I ever storyboarded, like drew pictures of what I wanted to see. But we used rain machines, which you just plug into a fire extinguisher. But we did it in the winter, so I was getting rained on.
Cold.
Yeah, like 20 degrees.
Oh,
Jesus.
And we shot on a stage, but the water's coming in from a hydrant outside, and it was literally like 10 degrees outside.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop the water running because it would freeze.
Right. And you have
I have
big
water
fans?
being like gushing onto my head. that's right about to freeze. That like,
oh shit!
And it literally, when something's so cold that it hurts.
Yeah.
My whole body. After every take, I couldn't move my whole body. Wow. It's the hardest thing I ever did.
Wow.
And then we have wind machines, and we had this big tub of water with a car sloshing around in it, and it was crazy.
Are you yelling? Do you have to yell?
Yeah, you have to yell when things aren't loud.
People always do that when, there's a hurricane.
It's a hurricane! We're gonna try to seek some shelter! Yeah. Actually, there's a guy in one scene who's yelling, "There's a hurricane! I can't hear you because of the hurricane!"
Just in case you don't get it. That's probably a good thing.
That's right.
Let the audience know.
There's one scene, the last thing that we shot, there's a scene where I'm on a street and I'm rescuing somebody during the hurricane, and we built a city street on a stage.
Oh wow!
So and it looks real, but I realize there's nobody else around except for me and the characters. So I wanted a big guy in his underwear to run through the. I'm giving away a lot. But, So I called Jay Okerson, and I said, "Where are you right now?" And he said, "Indianapolis." So he couldn't do it. We were shooting in an hour. Yeah. And then my PA found this kid Adrian, who's a comedian. I don't know his last name, but he's in American Hustle for a second.
Okay.
And so I called him, and he lives in the Bronx, and I said, "Can you come now?" So he ran down and he did it. But I had him yelling all this different shit, and at one point I was going to he's just yelling, and I was going to have him yell Anthony because of you. Anthony! And I didn't do that when I forgot.
By the way, here's the joy in that story. Here's the nugget. Big, dumb Jay Okerson missed a shot to be on Louie because he was fucking middling in Indianapolis.
Shit. I think we got to take another break. We go to 10:30 now. You sticking around?
That's great, man.
A couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes? All right, we'll finish
I have
up.
a big announcement I have to make.
Right now? You want to do it, Jimmy?
Yes,
Let's do it.
Jimmy.
I have 2 sold-out shows at the Borgata. The third one's on sale, The Late Show. DC Improv, 6 through 8 of February, and February 28. Pittsburgh Carnegie Music Hall.
I couldn't repeat that back to you if you paid me $1 million.
And I would if you could.
Right out.
Be double plugging
in my ear and out my asshole.
Well, you're missing a lot of laughs, and it should have went in the other way. Start through the asshole, end up in the ear. It's a home run for me.
No freaks.
Opie and Anthony. Hanging with Louis C.K. today. He's got a new movie that he did back in 1998 coming out tomorrow on his website. LouisCK.com, I think?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or .net. They both.
Or .net. So check it out. A lot of people you know and love in this movie from 1998.
Mirrors.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah.
And the show comes back in May. And the personal life is good?
Yeah, my kids are middle school, one of them, and the other one is... third grade.
I get advice from you when you come in.
Yeah.
My kid is finally in school. He's 3.5, doing that pre crap. Mm-hmm. But they don't celebrate holidays.
They don't?
No.
What's the school?
I'd rather not say officially. But,
no, of course. But is it a private school or a public school?
Yeah. But they can't even bring gifts in to the teachers. Because then other kids will feel left out because
I can't afford the gift, so the teacher will like the other kid better than me. But that's what they think is.
Yeah, there's always that stuff. I mean, my kids go to public school, and there was some controversy with a teacher gave another teacher a gift and their friends, and because the teacher number 1 had a kid in teacher number 2's class,
right.
And so she gave her, but they're like best friends also.
Right.
She gave her a present, and one of the parents was like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to give
preferential
treatment. This is what drove me crazy. A parent, anonymously, of course, because the parent gets to be anonymous, filed a grievance with the school board and put this teacher's job in jeopardy. And this is one thing I tried to say to these people is, the teacher's been there for 25 years. There's teachers in our school who have been taught by this teacher. We're passing through. When you're at a school, you're passing through. It's not, parents think that they can fucking decide, everything's about their kid.
Right.
Yeah. The school has its own life. It's a thing, and they're responsible for the youth of the city in waves. You're just one fucking wave.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, just wait till you have another teacher next year,
right.
But people that want to exact change in their, well, this is what I think should be. Yeah, well, you're one fucking person. And your kid is one kid in one class in 1 year of that one school.
People don't think that way. They're very self-centered and think, the world revolves around them.
Yeah.
That's what I found myself saying to a lot of parents and stuff, people, when they complain about stuff, is like, I understand why you're angry about that, but I don't believe you're owed a remedy.
Oh, bravo.
To me, I wish, the president, the government would say this to people all the time.
Yeah.
I know that's frustrating for you, and that's a real grievance from your point of view, but I don't believe that you are owed a remedy by anybody else.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Good luck.
It's driving me nuts. Like Halloween, no costumes. A memo came out. A friendly reminder that this school, you do not go to school with a costume on. 3.5-year-olds for Halloween.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, you're not going to school that day.
Yeah, it sounds like a high-minded private school.
Maybe we fucking blew it with our choice.
You got plenty of time. None of this right now matters.
Right.
No. Preschool.
It's a decent school in general.
Yeah, it's just somewhere for your kid to start.
They used to have leader for the day.
Yeah.
And some parent, like you said, complained. Some anonymous parent that you don't even get to see their face years ago. So now he's a host. He hosts for the day.
That's better?
That's what I'm saying. What's the difference?
We'd like it to be gayer. And it's leader is very butch.
Because saying leader gives the wrong impression. And our whole take on this on the show, because we're obsessed with this shit, is like, then the kids get in the real world. And it's important to be a leader and stand out.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
exactly.
right?
Whatever. I mean, it's part of it.
Or a good host. Still want to be a good host.
Sure.
I think that's
really,
a good
when
thing
does that
for the
really,
kid.
Yeah.
But to baby these kids and then just throw them in the real world, what are we doing for them?
Well, it's very narcissistic because people think that if they can make the day in the school their ideal, they're not looking at the kid at all.
They just assume all of society will now change because we're doing this
they don't even think
here.
that far. They're just that myopic. They're like, this is
no one sees the big
what
picture,
I want my
ever.
kid. No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
I was driving in this morning, and it always astounds me when somebody's in the left lane and there's nobody in front of them. It's wide open highway. Behind them, a fucking parade of cars that are 1 foot off of each other's bumpers.
Everyone beyond pissed off.
It's harder not to notice that that's going on than to just and then cars are going whoa, whoa, whoa around them and cutting them off, and they're just looking straight
one
ahead.
after another. And they still don't get it.
They don't.
I drove
see anything.
That astounds you, but what astounds them is why you're yelling deleted scenes from Django out the window.
Well, Pete, I was in a car with Nick DiPaolo once driving from
that's got to be a treat.
to New York.
This is not going to be a courteous story.
And you wouldn't believe how calm and patient he was. End of story. No, every time that he was stuck behind somebody, he would flash his high beams and say, "Get the fuck out of the road." And then whenever somebody was behind him flashing their high beams, he'd be like, "Fuck you, I'm doing the fucking speed limit. I'm obeying the law. Fuck you, I have a right to be in this lane."
Yeah.
Both same guy.
Yeah. I realize that isn't the thing to do. And if somebody comes up behind me, I'm always scanning the old mirrors. I'll pull over.
Right.
If someone wants to do 100 miles an hour,
whatever.
why do I give a shit?
Get out of the way.
It's a speed limit. Fuck you.
Right, do what you want.
With Nick DiPaolo, it's a real case of hooray for me, the hell with you.
That's a really elegant way of putting it.
My grandmother used to say that when somebody would speed by her, she absolutely would.
Oh, wow.
Jam a couple of fingers in and fucking change her tune.
There's also the police by proxy, the pseudo police people that think they're going to enforce the law if there's a traffic jam, and I decide I want to get on the shoulder and fucking tear up there and pass all this traffic. You get the guy that moves over to block it. What use is that?
Right.
Why are you fucking I'm willing to take the gamble that I'm going to get fucking pulled over and get a huge ticket. I'm willing to take that gamble. Just stay out of my fucking way.
Yeah.
That's
you
really
when they pull in?
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to be on your side, but it really is such a scumbag move.
Hey, it's a scumbag move, but I'm willing to do it.
That's a great slogan. Scumbag move.
I'm willing to do it.
That should be on a bumper sticker for you.
There was
on a van, in front of a schoolyard.
Well, you know, as amazed as you are by the people that sit in the left lane and do that, I'm amazed by the overwhelming flow and peace of traffic.
It really is astounding when you think there's kind of nothing in between us and how
it's unbelievable.
Less than often they really do bang together.
Yeah, people aren't like just banging into the next car, climbing in the window and eating everybody in it. Taking whatever they can.
One guy doing 5 miles an hour, one doing 150.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
there should be so many more accidents every day.
It is
just and deliberate carnage.
Right.
Murder.
Just how impatient we are and how terrible we are to each other. You would think with these giant fucking transformers that we're driving around in.
Even like tough-looking people that look like criminals and like on purpose.
Right.
Who have like, fake bullet holes in the back window. Like, people are like, I am a criminal. And I think it's cool. But they're signaling. They're checking their mirrors. They're saying the heck out of the HOV lane if they don't belong in it.
Hey, you see them. They're in the lane when it turns to HOV and blinker on.
I should, there's only one of me.
3 teardrop tattoos, but I better come to a full stop.
10 and 2, though.
I did another move coming off of the Parkway onto Old Country Road. They got that like clover leaf off-ramp thing, and it was packed. And I just went on the grass and cut completely across the clover leaf and popped up where the traffic was going onto Old Country Road, and just like. And then I put my hand out like, hey, you, I'm getting in here.
Right.
And then I just go in and I was off.
I used to drive with him. Amazing. I've never seen anyone pull more moves than Anthony.
When I do stuff like that, when I do like...
Sidewalks? Do you do sidewalks?
No, I've never done that.
He does sidewalks.
But whenever I've done things that I shouldn't be doing, and other people give me indignant looks, I decide I own the fiction that there's an emergency. I just decide, because they don't know.
They don't know
that I'm not that my kid's not bleeding or something.
Right.
So I decide my kid's bleeding. Fuck you. You have no right to judge me.
I never judge anyone making a move that could potentially get them killed or a ticket, because I'm like, more power to you.
Yep.
And in New York, you got a lot of situations where, especially in like Queens and stuff, there's a truck trying to back into a loading dock. This will drive me fucking crazy because they take forever. I understand it's a difficult thing. Yeah. I'm not saying I could wheel that thing, whip that truck right in there, but it takes a while. And now I'm sitting there. The first thing I'll do is look at cars parked on the side of the road and see if there's an opening. Then you go through there on the sidewalk, you drive a little way, and then you pop back down around the truck.
Sure.
And then there's people, though, that will, if there's a car parallel parking or a truck backing in and we're in a line of cars that are waiting, you don't have to wait until the truck is in the loading dock or the car's parked.
Go around
the second there's enough room.
Yeah, you go.
Go. Why the fuck wait? Oh, it's
the thing is that being in traffic, you're trying to move. You're moving at a higher than human speed.
Yes.
Which is easy to forget. You're moving faster than your body is capable of moving. So when you have to slow down or stop, you're at a distorted level of anxiety. I need to be moving. You really don't.
With you.
And the moments that you're needing to wait for people to do a clumsy parking job are not going to change your life at all. You're going to just be waiting longer at the next red light.
That's called logic. That's weird.
I've had people honk at me like as a pedestrian, honk, and then I've done this where then I walk up, and then they honked at me, then they're sitting at a red light, and I'll walk up to their car and go, aren't you glad that you honked at me so you know what I tell
You know what I tell them? Because I had cars do that too, where it's like I go, bam, move, and they're like, good, fuck you, and then it stopped at a light, and he's like, see how far you got? I go, if you were weren't in my way, I'd have made that fucking light.
So if
the pedestrian wasn't in my way,
it's usually not true.
I'd have made the fucking light.
You need to learn how to wait in life, but it's hard to do when you've been moving at a. I once was at a red light. I was on a motorcycle, and I was like 3 cars back from the intersection. This is on the Upper West Side, and there was a truck. A guy in a truck he was trying to screw through the intersection like illegally. And a cab was sitting like waiting to make a left turn. The cab was in the right place, and the truck was trying to do something fucked up. The cab did nothing, but the truck driver pulled up to the cab and spit on his window and cursed at him. And everybody was like, what the fuck? And then the truck makes his left turn, and I watched him, and all I did was I shook my head just to myself. I just shook my head like barely, like, oh, wow. Like,
you work up another loogie for you?
And he saw it and slammed on his brakes. And looked at me and said, "You gotta fucking..." Started cursing at me, and he started getting out of his. He was going to fight me, maybe kill me, maybe break my bones, maybe have himself killed, because I barely shook my head.
Right.
So far, I'm 100% on his side. I'm with the trucker.
And now, just last week, I'm driving one of the side streets trying to get to the Midtown Tunnel, and there's a bus. Giant bus stopped in the middle of the road, and I'm looking now because I instantly have to fucking know who's fucking this up. And I look and I notice that there's no one in front of the bus. So the bus is stopped there for apparently no fucking reason, backing up traffic. And this is going on and on and on. And there's a cab parked next to the bus enough where if the cab moved, everyone could squeeze past. But the cab won't even fucking move. So I'm getting livid at this point. I get out of the vehicle. I start walking. I walk up to the bus. I walk up to the bus and I bang on the door. And he goes, "Where would you like me to go?" And points to a truck now that's off where I couldn't see, double parked, unloading some shit. And now the bus can't get through.
Right.
So I just look, and I just went, "I don't care, move this vehicle!"
Did he laugh at you at that point?
No. And the guy with the truck, because he heard me banging on the door and yelling, the guy that was double parked. So he got in his truck and moved enough to let the bus
so everyone
move.
can move on.
But I'm walking back to my truck like, yeah, thank me, you motherfuckers, all that would have just been sitting here.
Dude, the stress you give yourself on a daily basis.
Really,
that's not good.
Exactly. You'll get somewhere fast when you're in the back of an ambulance.
Right.
Fucking frightening.
Let me say hi
quickly.
to Jeremy in Cleveland. Jeremy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was on the highway last night, snowstorm, and this asshole in an SUV blew past me about a mile down the road. He hit the center divider wall. I pulled over, not to help him, but to laugh at him as his head was all bloodied and busted up.
That's great.
So you had to rub it in.
Yeah. You should have just yelled at him when he sped by. What are you rushing into an accident or something? You want to let him have it.
Hey, hurry up and hurt your car.
And here's the guy that blocks you on the shoulder thing.
Oh, really? One of these guys.
Yeah, Andy in Connecticut. Go ahead.
Hey, asshole.
Hey, I agree with most of your traffic and how assholes on the road. However,
here's the caveat. Here's the asterisk.
Here it is.
I gotta take umbrage with this one thing.
Problem?
Hey, listen. You try to pass me to a breakdown lane on the right-hand side, I will block your ass every time.
Oh, go for it.
Why?
What?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Why? What? You're just adding to the problem.
Oh, he's getting mad.
Not.
He's right.
Okay, I know what you're saying. When I go to merge back in, I'm making more traffic, right?
Right.
I'm the only one doing it.
You're not the only one.
Yes, I am.
I know you think you're God's gift to try.
You're blocking me. Now you're making me go in behind you where there isn't a spot. Meanwhile, I'd be going and wait because there's always an asshole that's going to leave a lot of room between the two vehicles. That's where I dart in.
Sneak in quick.
And also, what about you, sir? Because you compound the problem with your vigilante
attitude.
Lane patrolling.
Yeah.
All right, Louie, I agree with that, so I shouldn't be doing it either. But I cannot.
Yeah, it's old Paul Kersey of the fucking highway.
That's right.
All right.
All right, sir. Thank you.
He got in the lane, and he went on the shoulder, and he raped my wife and daughter.
Now Matt's going to remind us of another thing you did.
Oh, really?
Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, boys.
Hey.
Ant, do you remember that time it was Justin Bieber was on Good Morning America? And
I want to fuck that kid. He's a man now, right? It's not.
I think he is.
Anymore.
He's 19.
It's not fun.
You're all right.
Yeah,
He's 19.
I'm gonna fuck him.
Twinkish.
and the cabbie was in front of Ant, and
you know how he keeps his hair up like that? It's my sperm.
Is it your sperm?
I come on his hair every morning.
It does a great job. It's very stiff.
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
That's all right, Louie. No big deal. And Ant, you physically rammed the cab and you shoved
it. Was Michael Bublé.
It was Michael Bublé.
It was Michael Bublé, right?
And
Singer, he sings with a lisp.
Michael Bublé was leaving
the world on a string.
The Today Show.
Can we play that for Louie?
I was right in front of it, and there's a news clip of him coming out of
Good Morning America or whatever the fuck.
Today Show or something like that.
I think it is.
And there's a video of him like signing autographs and the paparazzi's taking pictures, and all you hear is my horn going, man! And then you hear me yell, you piece of shit!
Right.
Because here's what happened. A guy jumped out of his car and just left the car in the middle of the road with a camera to get pictures and stuff of Michael Bublé.
That's
and
awful.
I just laid on the horn and wouldn't stop, and I just called him, and then I got up to his bumper with mine, and just I just started pushing his car out of the way, and he's like, hey! And then he got in his vehicle and put it in gear, and then I got around him.
But the last shot is you taking off in the Escalade.
You need to get inside the margins, because you're going to get in trouble.
I love it. Oh, it's so much fun.
You're not quite in control of yourself.
You don't think?
Something, you plus another factor that's not in your control, besides you're gonna do some time if you're not careful.
I know.
Most people that commit crimes didn't plan to do it that day. Most people that end up in jail, it was a circumstance plus their inability to control themselves.
Yeah.
You're going to be incarcerated.
We just think it's
going to happen.
We just think it's fun.
Just get inside the margins a little bit.
A little bit.
At least straddle the margins.
No, this is good for the radio show, though. I love it.
Well, you still have plenty of stories to draw from.
It's not good, though. It's not
No.
good.
Well, I'm trying to educate these people.
Well, what about when you shoot debris at other cars that did you wrong? Tell Louie about that one, too.
No, that's a good one if somebody's
gravel
in the lane. Yeah.
Just the side of the highways, all that shit is just hanging out.
They got those like ditches, little notches
wake up the
in the road.
Drivers.
And if somebody's going too slow in the left lane and I pass them, if you put your wheels in those, they load up with rocks.
Right.
And your tire literally sucks the rocks out and blasts it at them.
You're like a poor James Bond guy.
Yes. I need an oil slick and a smoke screen.
Here's the Michael Bublé clip. I don't know if it'll do...
Oh, is this the one?
I don't know if it'll do it justice, but you might hear Ant's...
Let me.
You can hear it in the background.
Yeah. You hear it?
I hear the horn.
That's it.
$3 on eBay.
You can't hear him cursing, though, right?
I think you can. Right when the horn stops, I yell it.
Oh, you want a picture,
It's one guy.
Hey, shithead! Hey, shithead! Yes, I heard it. Hey, shithead! Amazing.
All right.
Yeah, I was very angry.
That's
Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
Oh, I just... He pissed me off so bad. He was trying to take video. This might be his video. How weird is that?
That's a night.
Your whole life is like a combination of Barfly and Bobby Deerfield.
I live a little too close to one of the tunnels. On Friday nights or Saturday nights when everybody's trying to, if I'm sleeping at 3 a.m. and everybody's trying to get out of the city, there's often somebody leaning on a horn, and it's a half a block from me. But there's been a few times I've actually sat up in bed and contemplated, I'm gonna fucking put on my pants and bundle up, and go and find that car, and I'm gonna fucking hurt
and get
somebody.
Pull out one of the big knives from the
just
the cutlery set and stab him.
Yeah. I went after these kids once. The one I think that's most I've ever scared another person. I was coming home and there was these college kids, because there's some nightclubs in my area. These college-looking kids, clean cut, out for a party night.
Sure.
And one of them was down in the stoop of my neighbor's house, pissing on. But he's pissing on somebody because people live. That's like a basement apartment. Right. He's just pissing on someone's front door and on their stoop.
It's their house.
This kid, yeah.
That's
and
where they live.
I came up behind him and I said, "You're not fucking pissing on somebody's house right now." And his friend was waiting for him, and the kid quickly did his pants up, and they were so scared. I think from their point of view, they're like these college kids, and they're in scary New York, and they thought I was like black, basically, because I'm in New York City. And they're like, "Sir, we're very sorry." And I go, "That's a person's fucking house. You're an adult, you piece of shit.
Since you saw that they were scared, you jumped on it?
Why does someone have to tell you not to? What if I pissed on your fucking house? You fucking... what kind of a person are you? I just kept screaming.
Nice.
That's my neighbor's fucking house. We're very sorry. We didn't know. You didn't know what?
Right.
That you're pissing on someone's front fucking door. You fucking animal. Because I see it all the time. So I'm yelling at about 1,000 people.
Now, let me ask you this. What would you have said if he turned around and said, fuck you, old man?
I would have been like, oh, I'm sorry. I was never going to get violent. You know?
Right.
Not worth that.
Oh,
Keith the cop used to, when he was patrolling and saw anybody pissing, he'd go up behind them real kind of quiet and just push his foot on their ass and push them so they piss all over themselves.
That's great.
That's a great move.
And then they see it's a cop and they can't do anything.
Yeah, because then they get pissed, turn around, and it's a fucking cop, so you can't do anything anyway. You just got to fucking piss on yourself. Yeah.
Nick DiPaolo had a friend who was a Miami vice cop, and he was a plainclothes detective, and he carried a piece everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was a really rageful guy.
Oh, shit.
So he was like you in traffic, but he would if somebody pissed him off a little bit, then he'd get in a game of provoking them and he'd keep provoking till they did something where he could stop his car and fucking smash their window in with his weapon and arrest them. He did it all the time.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
He'd ride to work every day with, okay, who did you arrest today?
Shit.
Because he slightly cut you off, so you cut him off, flipped him off until you did something, and then,
Wow. That's great.
That guy's a fucking hero. That's
America's great American.
That's
an animal.
National treasure.
All right, we got to get Louie out.
Yeah, well, look at the time.
So long, fellas.
Crazy. Louie, thanks for coming in, man. It's,
really, I drop my kid
good.
off. I write Jimmy Norton. I say, you're on the air, I ask him.
Yes.
He writes back, sure we are. And then of course, we wrote a few saucy things.
Oh.
We're
to read that.
Yeah.
Use the F word a couple of times.
Just throwing barbs at each other, Hey, bet you look like you fell through an awning or something.
Good one.
I was like, how's your ugly mug doing you there?
Hey, you having fun? Tell your face. Back and forth.
Just you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Put hair on your ends. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I got an idea for your show.
Yeah, stuff like that all the time.
It's about some guy that talks to a college student about urinating, and the guy pisses in the old guy's mouth.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
Watch what you say. He'll put it on his TV show. Oh, God. Remember that? Like,
we might get that.
Hey, he's got a radio show. Watch what you say.
Watch what you say.
You'll end up on
one.
his show. I'm like, no, there's nothing you could say that will end up on the show.
Except for this right now.
Yes, except this right here. This is a good example.
LouisCK.com and LouisCK.net.
Noon tomorrow, $5. It's a very cheap amount to pay for a movie. And, it's the same as the other stuff I sell on my website. You get the movie. You can use it any way you want. There's no digital restrictions.
Can we re-edit it?
Please don't pirate it, because then I can't release stuff like this anymore if you pirate it. And we won't email you or bother you. It's just very simple.
Cool. And it's a movie you did in 1998.
98.
So that'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
It's at least $5 worth of fun.
All right. That's fair enough.
At least.
It's worth it.
If you don't want to, then just pirate it later.
When it doesn't matter anymore.
Please don't. That's right.
Please don't do that.
Not immediately, please.
And Jimmy?
I have Atlantic City, one show left, February 15th, a late show, 10:30.
At the Borgata.
I'm going to that.
At the Borgata, yes.
Yeah, I'm going both days. My whole family's going down there. We're going to have a pisser, as they say.
And he's next Thursday through Saturday, February 6th through 8. Jimmy will be at the Washington, D.C. Improv.
Well, 6 and 7.
Club.
8th is sold out.
Oh.
The 8th is sold out?
Yeah, 6 and 7th.
I bet you can still get tickets to the 8th.
Well, there might be
Those are reservations. Those are going to get canceled.
A couple hundred singles might pop up, as they say.
Yeah.
My agent will say that when I look at the count. I'm like, but Pete, it says there's 400 tickets.
February 28th at
Carnegie Music Hall.
Carnegie Music Hall, not Carnegie Hall. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
Let's be crystal clear.
Yeah. The fact that it's in Munhall, Pennsylvania.
How do you get to the Carnegie Hall? Not go to Munhall.
Exactly.
That way.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking drop your high school education and fucking work in a steel
Why
mill.
would they call it that, I wonder?
Because they just think it's fancy sounding.
That takes
Carnegie,
balls.
he was a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah.
Andrew Carnegie.
Oh, he was. Pittsburgh.
There's a lot of Carnegie places in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Carnegie
But,
Mellon.
like as an entertainment kind of complex to Carnegie Hall thing, I think they should limit it to just one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
why
the
not?
main
New York one. Yeah, if you want to have, the Carnegie fucking garage and gas station. That's fine.
But the Carnegie Hall.
But Carnegie Hall, you should probably just leave to New York City.
I like working at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not picky about the state it's in. I'm happy to be doing I'm going to put that in my bio. Has done a Carnegie Hall.
Right. A Carnegie Hall.
All right, we're out of here. Louie, thank you, man. This was a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
Me.
All right, we're blah, 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 blah. We're done. We're good.
Yes.